Good morning, everyone. Let's talk about taxes. Now, I know that word might make some of us want to tune out, but stick with me, this year is actually different. If you're like most Americans, you're probably going to see a larger refund when you file. That's thanks to a major new tax law that passed last summer. It's packed with changes, from a bigger standard deduction to new breaks for seniors, parents, and even service workers. This is a big, but navigating these changes might be trickier. The IRS has about 25% fewer staff this season to answer your questions, so being prepared is more important than ever. If you don't mind, please like and subscribe to our channel to learn about important financial news. So, let's walk through what you need to know. Think of this as your roadmap for the 2025 tax season. First, the headline news. More money back for many. The average taxpayer is expected to get a tax cut of about $611 this year. For a lot of families, that could mean a refund that's as much as $1,000 more than what they're used to. Now, it's important to note that the benefits aren't evenly spread. More affluent households are likely to see the biggest gains. But there are new breaks designed for the middle class, too. Let's break down some of the key changes, starting with the classic question: should I take the standard deduction or itemize? For most people, the standard deduction is the easy choice. It's gone up slightly though, $15,750 for single filers, for example. If your individual deductions like mortgage interest or charitable gifts don't add up to more than that, the standard deduction is your best bet. However, there's a twist this year that might make itemizing worthwhile for more people, especially if you live in a state like New York, California, or New Jersey. It's about the SALT deduction, that's state and local taxes. For years, there was a strict cap of $10,000 you could deduct. That was a painful limit for homeowners in high-tax areas. Well, for 2025, that cap has jumped to $40,000. It does phase out at very high incomes, but for many, this is a huge deal. If your state income and property taxes are high, adding this bigger SALT deduction to your other itemized expenses might now push you over the standard deduction threshold. It's worth running the numbers. Now, for the parents and caregivers in the room, the child tax credit has gotten a modest bump. It's now worth up to $2,200 per qualifying child, and for the first time, a portion of it up to $1,700 is refundable. What does that mean? It means if the credit wipes out your tax bill to zero, you can still get the leftover amount back as a refund. It's real money back in your pocket. There's also a brand new, exciting provision for new parents or anyone with young kids. It's called the Trump account. This is a new type of tax-deferred investment account for children under 18. You can contribute to it like a junior 401. But here's the amazing part. For children born between 2025 and 2028, the government will make a one-time $1,000 contribution to kickstart the account. You have to open the account first, typically through your tax return, to get that free money. Think of it as a seed for their future. Let's talk about two new deductions you may have heard about: no tax on tips and no tax on overtime. The headlines sound simpler than the reality. These aren't total exemptions, but they are valuable deductions for eligible workers. If you earn tips, you may be able to deduct up to $25,000 of them from your federal income tax for the next few years. The tips must be voluntary, and there are income limits. For overtime, eligible workers can deduct up to $12,500 of their overtime earnings. Key point: it's only the extra half-time pay you earn, not your entire overtime wages, and you must be covered by the Fair Labor Standards Act check with your payroll department. This year, figuring out the exact amount might be tricky, as employers are just starting to report it. A new break for seniors. If you're 65 or older, there's a new deduction just for you, up to $6,000 for individuals, $12,000 for qualifying couples. It does phase out at higher income levels, but it's available whether you itemize or take the standard deduction. Thinking about a new car? If you bought a new U.S. assembled vehicle in 2025, you might be able to deduct up to $10,000 in loan interest. Again, there are income limits, but you don't need to itemize to claim this one. Now, a word of caution. Some familiar challenges are returning. The Alternative Minimum Tax, or AMT, is coming back with a vengeance for the 2026 tax year. This is a parallel tax system designed to ensure high-income people pay at least something. The recent law changed the math. and it could snare more people, especially those with high state taxes, stock options, or capital gains. If you think you might be near the threshold with income over $500,000, this is the year to talk to a tax professional. Do not wait until next April. Planning ahead is crucial. Finally, let's talk about the actual process of filing. Given the IRS's severe staffing shortages, my strongest advice is this: file electronically and file early. Paper returns are likely to face massive delays. If you need to call the IRS, be prepared for very long wait times and potentially less experienced staff. They've pulled people from other departments to help. Protect yourself from tax fraud. Consider getting an identity protection pin from the IRS to prevent someone from filing a fake return in your name. And if you're waiting for your refund, check the Where's My Refund tool on the IRS website. Don't call. The website will have the same information, faster. So, to wrap up, this tax season brings bigger potential refunds thanks to new breaks for families, seniors, homeowners, and workers. But it also demands more patience and preparation due to a stretched-thin IRS. Review your situation, especially the SALT cap and the new deduction stow. See if itemizing makes sense. Consider getting help if your finances are complex, particularly with the AMT looming. Do your homework, file electronically, and hopefully, you'll be celebrating with a well-deserved, larger refund this spring. Thank you.